Anyone who lives in their imagination lives in hell, is suffering. That's what hell is. Anyone that's living through thoughts is living in this fake world, and they suffer because you're not that imagination. You are not that imagination. It's make believe. It's not real. And that's where all of your pain comes from. Comes from your imagination. Yeah, physical pain is going to be painful, but you make it worse through your imagination. You make it worse through thoughts. All of your thoughts are lies. And it's not until you realize this, and it wasn't until I realized this, that I overcame this. And this suffering is in most people's lives. Most people are suffering this way because they are living in their imaginations. They're living through their thoughts. And this seems confusing. But the more that you are present, the more that you let go of thoughts and you see them as just kind of clouds that go by, that's when you really have peace in your life and you start to wake up. That's what waking up is. Or more importantly, that's what it means to just hand yourself over to God. Because you're not in control. You know, this is the illusion that we have. We think that we control reality. We think that we're these little me's, these little I's, these little egos. And we're not. And that's the power of the imagination. When you're attached to that, that's where your suffering comes from. That's where all your problems come from. Because technically you don't have problems. You can't have any problems. God doesn't give anybody any problems. And that's what it's saying in the Bible. That's the point. Salvation is here and now. The kingdom of heaven is within. Your imagination is causing you to live without. You need to live within. Stay in your body. Stay silent. Stay still. And over the years, I've developed this. I've gone on autopilot and I've realized that I've gone back into my imagination, and that's where hell takes over. Problems start happening in my life. And it's not until I wake up and realize this, I'm like, oh yeah, I stopped working on myself. I stopped meditating. I stopped believing the truth about me. Instantly I can see this. It's almost like waking up like this, like you let go amazingly. You just see it. You think like, where was I? What have I been doing the last couple of months? You go back to vices, drinking, whatever, doing things you shouldn't be doing. And it's all imagination. And funnily enough, it's to not stay in the imagination. The imagination is so scary. You can either go into the light or you go further into the darkness, go even more unconscious through things like doom scrolling or procrastination or isolation or drugs or whatever it is. Even relationships or success. Success can do this as well. Chasing ambitions and goals. You need to do it from a place of within you. If you're doing it from a place in the imagination of thoughts, you will suffer. You will always suffer. I've always suffered when I've done this. Because there's always this kind of spring back, this sort of spring back. It's like an elastic band that pulls back and snaps. And that's what letting go is. You don't have to have a plan for yourself. God has a plan for you. If you don't believe in God, fine. But that's what letting go is. You have to you're either with the devil, thinking that you are God, which is what Satan wants, the devil wants. He wants you to think you're God. That's you playing God. That's how he tricks you and causes you to cause trouble in your life. Or you let go. You cannot have both. You either do one or the other. You either completely let go, or you're in your imagination trying to control things, worrying, suffering. But I promise you, if you do let go, it gets easier and easier and easier. Life gets easier. You figure it out. You realize that things just figure themselves out. You take action as well. That's the ironic thing. I don't know if it's ironic. I don't know if that's the right word. You figure things out because you take action, whereas before there's fear, which isn't you either. It's your false self that believes that it needs to protect something. So you procrastinate. It comes from fear and avoiding feeling that you don't take the action, so your life gets worse. And then you create more problems. You create more and more problems. Whereas life becomes really easy because you don't have the fear, so you pay the bill straight away. You you confront people that you want to confront straight away. You deal with problems immediately so they don't get worse. And then you realize that you don't have problems. If you don't have fear, you don't have problems. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I keep experiencing this. I go back into the haze. I go back into this autopilot. And then I wake up. And I go back in and I wake up. And for the last 5 years, that's been my life. And it's so fascinating. I can't describe it. I don't know what it is. I'm just saying it's God. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what God is. I don't know. I'm just handing myself over to that concept. Because whenever I've got trouble in my life, it's coming from my mind. And coming from anger, some kind of resentment, or trying to catch up, or preserve some kind of image, or identity, or reputation. That's the problem. I've always tried to do that at the behest of other people, causing pain, causing suffering, mostly causing suffering to myself in some kind of weird sort of self-attack. But it's until I let go and realize it's all bullshit, that's when I completely slow down and completely let go and hand myself over to something bigger. And maybe if you're still watching, this is resonating because you understand this. This is what letting go is. This is what it means to do. All I'm doing is seeing it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything there's nothing technical here. All I'm doing is sitting down in the morning and meditating for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and realizing a few things. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not in control. But paradoxically, when I realize I'm not in control, I seem to have a lot more control over my life. Things just seem to sort of work themselves out. I'm just so much more productive. I take so much more action. But I don't have goals. I'm not in my thoughts trying to figure things out. If I don't know, I don't know. If I know the way to figure something out, I'll try and figure it out. But there's no extra baggage. There's no attachment. It makes life so simple. And I'm like, how could it have been this simple the whole time? It's really this simple. And I'm so grateful. And that's why I make these videos. Because I think that when you realize this shit, when you realize it, it's amazing. It's beautiful. You realize life is beautiful. It's not even beautiful. It's just like, it just is. And you realize that it was all an illusion before. And I think that's what waking up is. And I feel like I'm going through this. I'm becoming more in touch with the self. I call this channel self-led confidence. That's what I mean by that. The self is in everybody. The big self, the real self, the authentic self, the light, the consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Everybody has this. But everybody's been tricked to believe that they are their thoughts. They are their managers and protectors. They are this evil inside them that believes that they are this special person. You become a special person when you die from that, when you don't believe that anymore. Amazing. Anyway, that'll do. Quite tired now. I'm going to go sleep. So thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, and this has been a weird video, right? Different. I've got plenty more videos like this. So check out this video and subscribe. Thank you. Subscribe. That's what I was going to say. Subscribe and comment if you found this helpful and like the video. Anyway, see you in the next video. Goodbye.